Okay, so the song that I chose for this assignment is called When You Get Drafted. It's by a punk rock band called the Dead Kennedys. So only about a minute and a half long. I'm just going to go ahead and play that real quick. Here we go. We might make you a spy. All right, and like I said, minute and a half. That's about it. So let's get into it. So, if I had to analyze this song myself, I'd say the song is musically no more than like 6 to 7 chords, just repeated over and over and over again at a very fast tempo, under 2 minutes, which is kind of typical for the genre of punk rock when you really think about it, if you know about it and listen to it. Um, Obviously, in the lyrics, there's a strong anti war sentiment that I kind of happen to agree with, but if I was to give an analysis for this song based on some of the material covered in this class, I would say that lyrically, the song highlights topics such as war profiteering, starting wars because your country's economy's bad, so much so that I think one of the lyrics is the economy's bad, let's start another war, or the economy's not looking good, let's start another war, something to that effect. I'm going to post a link to the lyrics, maybe a video with the lyrics from YouTube if I can find it along with this assignment so you can kind of understand what I mean by stuff like that. And also, back to lyrically regarding this song, there's also a strong sentiment of capitalist countries like the United States finding ways to justify and also profit from war, as we've heard and seen in other songs, and that's obviously a liberal left-wing standing sort of opinion. Um, anyway, I believe there were two topics we covered in our course material for this semester that would be relative to a song like this. Both topics, or at least both instances I'm going to mention here, I should say, were bullet points in one of our PowerPoints covering ideological criticism. And anybody who listens to punk rock in any fashion knows there's a whole big ideology when it comes to punk rock, mostly far left, liberal, left wing politics and stuff of that sort. So the first one is ideological criticism. It came under the entertainment media ideology as a background tab, and there was a bullet point here that mentioned, quote, different groups attempt to discredit the values and beliefs of other groups to determine the right way to live. In this song, I think the Dead Kennedys are trying to depict their politics of anti-war, among other things, against the right-wing point of view, which is obviously a pro-war, very patriotic, um, very pro-America, America first, kind of point of view, like you see in the current right wing today, like probably we've seen at least since 1980, which is it happens to be the year this song and album was recorded, which really, not to ramble off too far, in my opinion, really says something about the longevity of a song like this and how relative it can remain decades after it's been written. Anyway, back on topic. By writing lyrics such as this, the song itself, they're on a very ideological battleground with, like I said, with those in the right wing who are pro-war and pro-U.S. interests. They have a complete different worldview on foreign policy than the us left wingers or liberals, whichever you choose to call us. And the second one I would say came from the other PowerPoint where we were discussing politics in the airwaves as it regards to ideological criticism. And I'm going to take a quote from that bullet point right here. So, like I said, this song was written and recorded in 1980, and it still obviously has some significance and is relative to events occurring today. And the bullet point that I'm going to borrow here was when you read lyrics like that, with heavy anti-war sentiments, you kind of stop and ask yourself. I think the bullet point in the PowerPoint we were discussing said, "Did the U.S., for example, invade Iraq to promote democracy or to further America's own economic and security interests?" Now, that is a long debated question since the war on terror, since 9/11. But you turn around and you look at the situation today. We're fighting in Ukraine. We have a war going on between Israel and Palestine that we might not directly be involved in, but that, we're putting money into. So you ask yourself the same question again. Is America once again finding a new way to promote democracy or to further its own economic and security interests in those two regions? Personally, I feel like the war in Ukraine is a little more justified as far as our involvement goes than the, some would argue, controversial genocidal conflict seeming to be going on in Israel and Palestine. It's my personal point of view that probably the Palestinians are more in the right, but both sides have been doing horrible things to each other for a very, very, very long time. And I don't want to get too much back into that, but that was the sentiments and the feelings and the thoughts that I had, and analyzing this song and listening to it, taking a look at the lyrics, and so on and so forth. So that's going to be the end of pretty much what I got to say on the subject. Hope you had a great semester, and hopefully I will see you in another class somewhere down the road.